On the BBC News at 6, it is time now for the news where you are. Goodbye.
Thank you very much, Sophie. Hello there, I'm Charlie. Welcome to the programme. So first, this Friday evening, as Jersey struggles through the wind and rain to continue its clear-up after the visit of Storm Ciarán, island sports clubs have been assessing their chances of reopening. The worst hit were in the path of the tornado, but there's a warning tonight that many more may face months of disruption. Here's Julie Flanagan.
This is as close as they can get, assessing the damage from beyond a wire fence. Members know the priority is repairing homes, but the uncertainty is depressing. They simply don't know if their club will be out of action for months or maybe longer.
We have over 100 members and it is quite an effect on them. We don't know whether they can repair the property or whether they will have to tear it down and replace. So we're sort of in limbo at the moment.
At St Clement's Golf Club, a scar along the course traces the tornado's path as it made its way towards Flickay. The clean-up has begun, but staff know they've just scratched the surface.
We've lost 100 plus trees, I should imagine. It's changed the aesthetics of the golf course forever. Now starts the massive clear-up operation. The greenkeeping staff are working flat out, and we're hoping to have the course.
I'm very concerned about being able to get the correct insurance going forward. We renewed our insurance premium in October, and unfortunately we've had to pay a 30% increase from the previous year, and that was due to the flood in January. So when we renew again next October, I don't know what the percentage increase will be, but it may well again be substantial.
I think it's going to take many, many months, maybe even up to a year in Paddle's case, because they can't play paddle anywhere else. So they're going to have to first of all clear the site, sort out insurances, and be able to rebuild that facility. It's just heartbreaking for everyone involved.
Well, this four-court bubble only went up in September, but unfortunately the strong winds of Storm Ciarán were just too much for it to survive. Now, Jersey's sporting community as a whole is determined to move on. The challenge, though, is trying to plan ahead when the weather continues to cause problems. Julie Flanagan, BBC Channel Islands News, Jersey.
Meanwhile, fewer than 10 people displaced by Storm Ciarán are now being supported in hotels. At the height of the response, Jersey's government were covering the cost of hotel rooms for 180 people. Most have either moved back or found alternative accommodation. Now, parking fines in Guernsey could increase by £25 if a proposal from the Home Committee is approved. The increase will also cover all fixed penalty offences, around 14,000 every year. Ewan Duncan can tell us more.
Signs like this around the islands let you know how long you're allowed to park in this area. Overstay your welcome and you'll end up with one of these. Right now, that'll land you a £40 fine, but the cost of a ticket could be set to go up.
That seems quite a lot. But I don't know, I guess we have to balance it up with not having to actually pay for parking at the same time.
Quite an expense really, difficult at this time of the year, and even in general with everything going up in price, it's going to be quite difficult. There's not enough parking for everybody as it is.
It's stupid amount, we pay enough as it is on this island, rather than not putting up the charges,
Fixed penalty notices are not just for parking though. They're for anything from not wearing a seatbelt to not clearing up after your dog. And this is what the proposed increases might look like. If approved, things like parking offences will increase from £40 to £65. If the tyres on your vehicle are in a poor state, it'll cost you £95. And not wearing a seatbelt could change from £100 to £125. The Home Committee say it's been over 10 years since the last increase in fines, adding that the proposed increases were in line with inflation and a necessary deterrent. Ewan Duncan, BBC Channel Islands News. Guernsey.
Now, after another day when bad weather has kept our island supply ships in port, Jersey's farmers have been discussing ways to help make Jersey more self-sufficient and reduce the number of empty supermarket shelves. Gemma Daubeny reports.
Food security is now recognised by everyone as important,
including Jersey farmers. Today, at their annual conference, local growers said increased government funding could help avoid images like this.
I think the biggest public good that Jersey growers can give to the island in the next years with this increased funding we've received is to make sure that there is an adequate supply of the most local fruit and vegetables on in our local shops.
While on the ground, a third of fields are still dominated by Jersey's prize potato. Some farmers have long thought that supplying locally requires the industry to see a bigger picture.
I don't think agriculture should just be about the Jersey Royal. I really don't. If you're talking about food for the island, we need to think about something else.
But will the work be worth it without a buyer?
Are we sure that the people that invested their time to grow these things are going to have an outlet for it?
We spend over £8 million a year with local producers. We'd love to spend more if that product was available. What we've seen in the co-op is that consumers will pay a premium for local, but that premium will only be to a certain extent. It's still got to be comparable, and certainly from a point of view where there is a cost of living crisis, people are worried about the money that they've got to spend. They'll always be looking for value.
Fresh thinking is one thing, but will consumers back a new farming package?
If you buy a lettuce from Anvil Farm, it's going to be maybe a few pennies more than a lettuce that you get in a bag in a supermarket. However, there's so many extra things you get with that value for money.
I think last week we definitely convinced people that having local product is important, and hopefully they'll remember that when they go to the supermarket and choose the local product in order to keep the farmers in business. Because without them, as I said earlier, we don't survive.
Tonight, farmers head home, buoyed by their government lifeline, but in no doubt that cultivating new ideas to fill the shelves will need public buy-in. Gemma Daubeny, BBC Channel Islands News, Jersey.
Now let's take a look at some of the other stories that have been making the news today. And Jersey's government wants the public's views on proposals for an offshore wind farm off Jersey's southwest coast. It's beginning a consultation period which will last for 3.5 months. The states are due to debate the plans next year. The charity Go in Guernsey has a new home on the bridge in St Sampson's, which they say secures their future until the end of the decade. The charity provides training and support to help islanders rejoin the workforce. And one of our best known Christmas landmarks will be taking shape in Guernsey tomorrow. The Rotary Club's Tree of Joy grew under blue skies. This was last year, but the gales may mean a delay to adding that Christmas star this year. I do think the Christmas lights go on in about 2 weeks' time. Now, can you imagine the impact of suddenly losing most of your sight? Well, that's what happened to Shah Khan soon after he came to work in Jersey. It was caused by a genetic condition that he didn't know he had. Since then, Shah has inspired many by his love of running. Recently, though, he left the island to be with his family. He's been chatting to Amar Ibrahim.
This is the JEP from when you and Tel were running back in February, mate, and you've been on my desk for a long time. Just remember how far you travel.
It's Shah Khan's last session at his running club, a hobby he only discovered after losing most of his vision. It's an emotional goodbye.
As anyone who's met him would tell you, he's a really open, really friendly, positive character, and he brings that kind of infectious enthusiasm to everything.
These people, I'm going to miss them. And what they've done for me, I don't think they'll ever know. I don't think they'll ever understand the impact they've had on me. And I'm so grateful to them for that day.
It's not just the running community who've helped Shah. He says the wider island has helped him through some of the most challenging times.
I mean, people didn't even know me. And even today, a lot of people just don't know me. But they helped me so much. People will buy me milk or get me that loaf of bread. You know, I have people that will bring me a pot of food to the house. Because sometimes I have people from the UK saying, oh, why do they do that? And the only way I can explain it is that it's the Jersey way.
What would you like to say to the people of Jersey before you leave?
I'd like to say thank you for the life I have today. The way you've looked after me, you gave me that hope in a time that I was just in a place of despair.
Inspiring, and good luck in the future, Shah. Now, as we look ahead to Remembrance Weekend, news of one Jersey veteran who decided to stage her own fundraising pitch. Lisa Thomas has spent 5 damp and drafty nights sleeping in a tent. We caught up with her before she finally got back into the warm.
I've got a little bit wet and cold at times, but no, absolutely fine. So it's been really good, and I've had a lot of support of everybody. So we have a lot of veterans here, and even including staff and family members. So it's a big love of ours to support people, our services to the country, and also for people that have actually lost their lives. So it's just to honour them. I've got a lot of munchies to get through, so a lot of people have been supporting me and giving me lots of goodies. So I think I might have feast away.
Yeah. What was that? A cashmere scarf. See, I never saw that.
You've been here how long, Jean? You've been here probably 4 years. 4. So you've been standing here?
Wouldn't do that. No. Well, I love gardening, but I wouldn't go in a tent. If I had a cat there with me, it'd be all right.
Now, I know that was a few nights ago, and she certainly was making a stir down at L'Hermitage Gardens, but hopefully you're back in the warm now. Right, let's talk about the weather as we head into the weekend. Of course, David Brain is with us. So, David, tomorrow doesn't look too bad. I'm hoping to do a bit of clearing up of leaves and things, if they're dry enough, that is.
Yeah, Charlie, I think of the 2 days, Saturday is certainly the better day. A much quieter day. We've had those lively winds today. So Saturday is bright and dry. Sunday, though, patchy rain and becoming quite windy again, but not quite as windy as it has been today. These were the early morning wind gusts, close to 60 miles an hour at St Heliers, St Peter Port, and also Alderney, around 50 miles an hour. Those winds are now dropping. There's still a few showers dotted around. But actually what we've got for tomorrow is a very brief ridge of high pressure before the next band of rain comes in. That area of low pressure moves into the North Sea. This is a ridge of high pressure which will settle down over us and be with us for most of the day tomorrow. Then these weather systems will bring us some rain as we go into Sunday. But it may well brighten up Sunday afternoon because the whole thing's moving quite fast, but there are more weather systems queuing up to come in. I mentioned the showers. There are still some left behind tonight. I don't think we'll lose them altogether. They become very isolated. And by the morning, temperatures of about 8 degrees, lighter winds, as I say. And then tomorrow's forecast is pretty good. I think we will see some patchy cloud around, some high-level cloud coming in later in the day. But it is a predominantly dry day with much lighter winds, and 13, the top temperature, 55 in Fahrenheit. For the coastal waters, the winds are northwesterly, slowly backing southerly, no more than the force 3 or 4 by the afternoon, mainly fair with good visibility. These are our times of high water. St Peter Port just after 5, St Anne is at 5:42 tomorrow morning. And this is the outlook. So it is the best day of the next few days for tomorrow. Sunday is rather cloudy, as I mentioned, but it might brighten up in the afternoon. Monday and Tuesday, we get milder air, but we're watching very carefully what happens with an area of low pressure on Monday that could bring us some strong winds again. Have a good weekend. Charlie.
Thank you much, David. Still not that cold, is it, though? Right, that is it for the time being. I'll be back with your late news, as usual, at 10:30. Hope to see you then. Bye-bye.
On to the sports news now, and there was a training session with a difference for some of Exeter's rugby players and footballers.